Abundance is our mother beep birthright. What's going on, everybody? This your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time for us to manifest our destiny. Spiritual escapism is the new delusion of grandeur. Negroes are walking around in spiritual toxicity, spiritually distracted, spiritually ensnared in the confusion of this low vibrational frequency, wave, verb, and vibration. Today we're going to break the shackles off your feet so that you can oscillate and vibrate in an entirely new self-image as we prepare for the new series that starts on December, December the 2nd, I think. Yeah, December the 2nd, a couple of days. Payment plan is available. Cost is, did we say 149? I think we said 149. I can't remember what we said. I was giving you guys a discount because I know it's the holidays. Well, shit, let's just make it 100. We do 100 even. For the new series, starts on December the 2nd. Today, brothers and sisters, let's break down spiritual escapism. I know a lot of people that are very spiritual. They are super saints. They broke as a joke, though. It's our faith. They are Facebook heroes, but they are real life zeros. In order for us to over and understand our true God-given desk, you got a desk up in heaven. That's a high vibrational way of speaking. You got a place there. It's reserved just for you. You got a D-E-S-K. You got your name on it. Your desk. And it says abundance. Now, I need you to understand something because abundance is your birth right. So by birth, you have a right to abundance. So if you got to be super spiritual to get abundance, you are blanking yourself. Unknowingly, though. Nobody volunteers to get poked. We'll put it that way. But we do. Because abundance is creating a culture of generosity. Come on, preacher. Abundance is a culture of generosity. Now, remember, this is not a New Believer show. So the shit that we break it down today, like yesterday and like every day, it will fuck up your theology. Because what we're doing is we are establishing a cult of a bunch of generous where we just go around every day, all day, increasing everybody's worth and value. That's it. I am looking for, and I've found a bunch of folk, just like me, who want to establish a culture of generosity. This culture of generosity, in fact, we're going to, starting with the new year, we're going to go ahead and pop off our spiritual, our circle, if you want to use that, our round table of light. The round table of light, our ambassadors of light, as we establish this new language, this new culture of light, which is the culture of abundance, because that's our birthright. And all we're going to be doing is spreading the culture of generosity. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly because my feet are firmly planted on the ground. Even though my head is in the clouds, my feet is firmly planted on the ground. So I need you to join me, my brothers and sisters. Now, if you're able to join me, then we can change the world by establishing a frequency, wave, and vibration of generosity. Now, generosity means that we would just say, a culture of givers. And all we're doing every day is sharing love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, and self-control, so that way we get out of spiritual escapism. So what exactly is spiritual escapism? Well, it's what you do every day to escape what you should do every day. So every day you are doing something, whatever that is, that allows you to escape what you should be doing. And that is working on yourselves, which is yourself. So every day you shouldn't be, giving nobody nothing. until you've given yourself something. Now, once you are established, okay, bam, okay, now you're ready. Now you're ready to grind and shine. But most of us, we can't grind and shine because we're not ready to grind and shine. That's what that simply means is that what you're doing is you're trying to teach somebody how to swim and you don't know how to swim. You're trying to take somebody somewhere where you have not been yourself. But you're doing it because you care. You love everybody. You know, you are like all of us, you know, underneath this spell of Christendom where money does not flow to us easily and effortlessly. And it's very important that we establish this new frequency, this new wave, this new abundance, because abundance is my birthright. That is how spirituality looks like. So what does true spirituality look like? This is what we're talking about. So a lot of people are spiritual. They're religious. They Bible thumpers and they this, they that, but they don't have a spirit. They don't have a spirit of reality. And it's crazy because I am wealthy. I'm healthy. I'm wise. I'm in great relations. I am. So are you. But what we have to do is something has conned us into working for it. Instead of just vibrating it, we have to go get it. So that is false spirituality. That is a form of godliness. But we are denying its power. And everybody, but not everybody, but a lot of people that I talk to, they have a form. They got a form of godliness, but they don't have the power of godliness because they are escaping. They're using God, religion, and spirituality to escape doing the inner work, the shadow work. So to keep from having to do the shadow work, bam, I'm super spiritual, dog. You know what I'm saying? I can quote scriptures. I can speak in tongues by playing. So I'm practicing spiritual avoidance. So I don't have to work on my cells or myself. So I'm doing what is called spiritual bypassing. I'm bypassing the real shit because I'm a super saint. You know, come on, dog. Put some respect on my name. So spiritual escapism means that you are using God. You're using yoga. You're using Tai Chi. All that shit you're doing so that way you can escape what you should be doing. It's crazy to me because I remember I used to do the same thing. Remember, I was licensed and ordained. Yeah, I was, going, man, life was fucked up though. But in church, what? I was a fucking guru. I was a god. I walked in church and people wanted to kiss my royal finger. Sister Cheryl, I could do no wrong inside of the church, Sister Cheryl. I was over all kind of shit, Sister Cheryl. I was busy. Broke as a joke. I was busy, Sister Cheryl, but I wasn't effective. The crazy thing is I still be there, Sister Cheryl, if I did not get a dose of reality. And it's sad because as I sit here and I think about the super saints, and on the outside, they look super. Everybody want to be a super saint. I know a plethora of them. Should have my family is super saint. I almost spend on my mother's side of the family. Like all them motherfuckers are super saints. And when I think about a super saint, that's a Negro that's so fucking spiritual that he's no earthly good. He looks down on you with his chin. Now remember, I'm not talking about the shit I read off a book. I'm going to try to, now I'm going to do today's show. I'm not going to try. I don't want to disrespect anybody because I'm pissed off. Now, in all honesty, I'm always pissed off. This ain't nothing new. But this topic really, because this is the reason why my mom died. Now, a super saint uses their spirituality as a way to escape real world reality. A super saint is so super spiritual that their head is in the clouds. They're so heavenly minded that they're no earthly good. The number one mark of a super saint is when you ask a question, they give you a scripture. That's when you fucking run. You get the fuck out as fast as you can. Otherwise, you're going to get fucked. You're going to get mind fucked. Super saints really have a demon or a disposition. Now, I wrote a book called Christian Satanist 20 years ago. I can't even find it anymore. It's kind of crazy. There is an old show that I did like 10 years ago. And then there is a part of it that I did find. Because remember, a lot of my shit, especially long time ago, it was all on the internet and YouTube and Blog Talk, but I didn't back it up on a server. And then the ones that I did back it up on, well, computers don't use floppy disks anymore. That's how long I've been around. When I started, I had shit on floppy disk. Well, they got USBs now. And now USBs is pretty much out. If you don't use USBs, they got external hard drives now. So I got tons of data. But what's the point? Well, a Christian Satanist is a super saint. Now, Christian Satanism is well and alive today. In fact, you might be one. If I'm a betting man, I don't bet, but if I was betting man, I would bet that you are dibbling and dabbling in it right now. Now, again, this is not your fault. Because nobody breaks down what is spiritualism. When I started, I didn't understand anything about toxic spirituality. I didn't know that you could be so spiritual that you blame and shame everybody by your presence. You ain't got to say shit. Just walk in the room and your presence. Because you carry yourself with such aura that you look down with your cheek. Now remember, you don't say anything. It's a feeling that you have that I'm superior. But you ain't done shit though, but you are superior by what makes you superior? Well, you got a title. You got a collar on, you got a position, or you've anointed yourself as prophetess or prophet or apostle. I love fucking titles, man. O-M-fucking-G. Titles. Negroes love, boy, god damn it, we love some fucking titles. Woo-wee! You give a Negro a title, O-M-G. No education, no skills, just a title. The Negro would think he's God. Now, as a retired spiritual specialist, as a retired spiritual bypasser, as a retired spiritual toxic shamer, I know there's something about what I'm talking about. And it's very, very important, brothers and sisters, because right now it's getting ready, it's already amped up, but it's getting ready, it's taking it to a whole new level now. And this whole new level is very dangerous because what's happening is that if I go to a person's house and not look at the material, but pick up the energy, then I can expose the devil, which is just a low vibrational frequency. It's a spirit of superiority that comes from inferiority. It's crazy that you could be inferior, but yet think you are superior. And it's crazy because when I thought back to my days when I got quote unquote anointed, I didn't go through any classes. I didn't get no training. They saw my zeal and I got rewarded because I had zeal. And I didn't understand that back then. Now I do. The most dangerous thing that you can do is give a man a title without training or giving him instructions. What happens when you assign a title? Again, we go back to what we've been talking about over the last few days. Now this is, I like those rah-rah, shish kebab messages, but what's happening is we got a generation of Negroes that do not know how to self-parent themselves. We have a culture of easy believism because they don't understand that abundance is a birthright. We have a whole entire generation that lacks the culture of generosity. Now, we're going to start off probably in January for everybody that want to be a part of the roundtable, the Circle of Light. We'll have a meeting. We'll select the amount. Like I tell you guys, we'll start with, I would say $1,000. But we can start with 100. It doesn't matter. The amount of money doesn't matter. The culture of generosity does. And so every month, somebody in the circle receives that amount of money. And then we go determine the amount of time that that person gets to use that money and then replace that money, preferably going through PayPal because of the line of credit that they extend. Now, we've talked about this before, but what's the point? The point of this is, number one, it requires a lot of trust. Because let's say we got 10 people and Dr. Span is the first person. Everybody put in $1,000. That's $10,000. We give Dr. Span $10,000. Dr. Span should take that $10,000 and bootstrap it. And we'll break all of that down later. Then she has 30 days to put the $10,000 because then after that, the $10,000 goes to Sister Diane. So this $10,000 that stays in rotation, it's building interest, and it goes from one person's account to another. I'm going to guarantee, in case there is a low vibrational entity in the group, which if you can get by me, if you good, you deserve the 10 grand. So what does that mean? That means if we give somebody the 10 grand and they disappear, then I will replace the 10,000. I'm going to guarantee you everybody's $1,000, basically. What is the point? Like, why would we do that? Well, the reason that we would do that is because we're starting a culture and we're creating a circle. This is the round table of life. Because the culture of generosity, what it does is it removes spirituality, toxic spirituality. See, your spiritual significance is based upon what you're building on this earth. You're supposed to establish heaven on earth. So originally I was doing this as guys, because originally, you guys remember, the fact that when Shamora died kind of saved my marriage because I had already moved out. I was moving to Dallas to take care of my daughter. And then she died. The week she went down to Dallas that weekend, she died that weekend. But that next Monday, I had already got an apartment in Denton because she had chose to go to school in UNT. And my daughter Sade, she said, well, Dad, she can stay with us. But I was her father, and she had epilepsy. So I didn't want Sade to take on that because she's her sister. Because I had been absent when Shamora was little, which is why a lot of this shit happens. And it's interesting how things work that totally change your life. It has nothing to do with you. So I didn't have to move to Dallas. I had put all this money into the building that me and my daughter, oldest daughter, purchased, set up. Because remember when we started, it was just a shell. We put a good $25,000, $30,000 into the walls, the lighting, the ceiling, and all that shit. You don't get that money back. But the point is, God gives it back because it's generosity. Spirituality, what does true spirituality look like? Now, I need y'all to put your thinking caps on because a lot of people are mesmerized by the world of yoga, sun gazing, ascending, chakra activation. And at the meantime, you ain't fucking helping nobody. You ain't done shit for nobody but yourself. Do you guys know how much money I give away in a month? Do you know how much money? See, this is why I'm always blessed. People talk. But true spirituality is when your fucking boots is on the ground and you helping people. That's a spiritual person. That's a fucking guru. All these niggas walking around, posting up on fucking Facebook, doing all of this and quoting scriptures and all shit. What are you doing in your community? Now, I'm not talking this Umar Johnson shit either. That's awesome. No disrespect. But I'm talking about, what do you do that nobody knows about? What do you do that your left, like the Bible says, your left hand don't know what the right hand is doing? True, now this is what true spirituality looks like. True spirituality is when your boots are on the ground, when you are firmly planted in reality. When you see a need, and if you're in a position to assist and not always need assistance, because a lot of people are in need because they know there's people like me and you out there. So we're not talking about those people. Now your spirit will tell you, me, I still go anyway. I feel a snake. I know it's a snake. I still help the snake. Because then after I help the snake, then I know the snake knows and I know that they're a snake. People know. People know, and they see your generosity. A spiritual person over and understands that true spirituality is head, heart, and gut activated. It's head, heart, and gut activation. A lot of the stuff that's going on in the world today, that is not spirituality. Doing, what I do, these shows, that's not spirituality. My books, that's not spirituality. What I do pretty much every month, what I've been doing in this marriage, taking care of kids is not even mine. What I did in my first marriage, taking care of kids that wasn't mine, besides taking care of my own kids, that's spirituality. Buying all the stuff that my wife, I don't even go to that church. But go look at the sound system, look at everything in that church, who paid for it? What does that mean though? It means that my frequency is establishing my deeds. When I leave this planet, my deeds will speak for me. My books will speak for me. True spirituality means that you're not trying to escape your responsibilities. True spirituality means that you over and understand that the most important thing that you can do, like the Bible says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And the second is like the first, love your neighbor as yourself. A spiritual person is not someone that is always happy and always upbeat and smiling and all the shit that I talk about all the time. That's not true spirituality. That's great to have it, but that comes after your heart is activated, because your heart is full. So my heart is full. My heart is full because I used to be a spiritual narcissist. When I was a spiritual narcissist, I was unconscious that my spiritual practices was an artificial inflation of self-importance. Now I understand that when you're spiritual, you actually decrease self-importance, and there's an increase on others. When you are operating in true spirituality, you cannot suffer spiritual burnout. When I see a reverend or doctor or bishop who said that they must go on a sabbatical, when people tell me that they have to detox from social media. Now, you detox from something that is bad. If you got to detox from your church, from your purpose, from your mission, you're not going to check your purpose and your mission. I get power from my purpose, my mission, from social media. If you're feeling tired, if you are, I'm going to use the word spiritual immune system, you're frequently spiritually ill. If there are changes, radical changes in your spiritual disposition, meaning that instead of operating in the fruit of the spirit, love, joy, peace, goodness, you find yourself operating in the fruit of the flesh more because you're frustrated, you feelings of being trapped, feeling of being defeated, feelings of being helpless, lost, confused. That means you're suffering from spiritual burnout. because there is no spiritual connection. See, when you're spiritually connected to source, you have a strong gut feeling that even in the midst of adversity, some kind of way, you're going to figure it the fuck out. You have a feeling of liberation. You got a feeling of a deep, deep, deep trust. You can't even explain it. There is no need to talk to other people. People will talk to you, but you won't have a need to talk to them. When you are connected, when you are a truly spiritual person, now again, I'm not talking about the fake TDJ, couple of dollars, all the shit you see on TV. Nah, them niggas fake. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when people use spirituality to escape doing the shadow work that I do. So the shadow work is you wake up every day and you look at yourself. You say, selfweedafarm.com. But we got some improvements to do. Now, we're not improving ourselves. We are aligning ourselves. What does that mean? That means, as I said yesterday, everybody on this call, you are God, you are source. So that means you can't have anything that you have. That means really, you really don't even exist. There's a new study came out. I was talking with, I forgot who it was. I was texting, we were sharing the video back and forth, and I was talking, and we were looking at this new study that they're saying, as I've been saying for years, that the observer determines what is observed. That's what God appointed the watchers. And the watchers, they are the reason that we exist. If there was no watchers, you wouldn't exist. So science states that if someone doesn't observe something, it loses its locality. What does that mean? That means that this is virtual reality world. Now, spirituality already knows that. When you understand spirituality, then you're able to control mentality. That just simply means that nothing will ever get you pissed off. Because you know this shit is all fake. You're going to ask yourself, why the fuck would I get angry and pissed off? Why would you, like when somebody died, as I keep telling you guys, when you understand death, there's no way you could cry when somebody dies. Because you know that shit, they was never here. The only thing that was here was God dropping down in a shell, an avatar body to experience love. That's it. So God, I am, and you are an individual expression of God inside of a body. You are God in form. That's all you are. So your body is an avatar. Now, you should look up the definition of that word, like in the movie. So your spirit uses this 3D flesh suit. And then, as they captured on film, your soul, your spirit leaves the body. The body drops in, I think it was like 4 pounds, whatever the weight is. And they've captured, quote unquote, on camera, supposedly, at the moment of death, you leave the body. The same way at the moment of conception, melanin, because remember, during conception, everything is coated in melanin. Now, the movie, and there's TikTok videos floating around, vibranium is really iridium. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. So it's been proven in South Africa, if I remember correctly, supposedly that's the only place this iridium kind of like is found. Now, this iridium has some, it's spelled I'm not mispronounce it. It's iridium. It is so rare, and it's only found, and nobody really knows what it is. It has the atomic number of 7. It has certain, I'm going to use the word like vibranium. So the whole Wakanda was based off of that true story about supposedly a meteorite hitting somewhere in South Africa, and only in this location there's a big mountain of this blank. And this blank allows people to do some crazy shit. But all of that is code for vibranium. A super saint is a person who has control over their tongue. A super saint is a person who has control over their brain, your mind. You're not spiritual. You can't be. God would not allow you to be. Because life and death is in the power of your vibranium. If you spew the wrong verbs, you're going to activate the wrong nerves in yourself and in other people. The production of verbs related to the movement of nerves and the release of chemicals. There is a chemical connection to every word you speak. If you look at the anatomy of the central nervous system and how it is controlled, and if you look at the connection between the cranial nerves and the function of every organ in your body based upon the frequency of every thought in your brain, the electrical signals from your brain changes the cranial nerves, which changes your organs, your muscles, and the chemicals. Your entire nervous system, everything in your body is controlled by your words. So Source knows a true spiritual person, all the stuff that you see that is promoted as spirituality, that is not spirituality. Spirituality is when you do the shadow work, because this shit is inside. Because nobody knows what's going on in your head. Right now, I'm talking, but I could be, let's say, depressed. I could be angry. I could have just had a big fight with my wife. I could have just went in there and slapped one of the kids. I could have walked over there, and just finished having sex with the neighbor's wife. I could have went outside and set my dog on fire. I could have went shot somebody in the head. I could have went and robbed the bank, ran home, jumped on today's show. Yeah, I don't know. What the fuck am I doing here? I'm in San Antonio. Where you at? But if you are a spiritual person, you know you can pick up my energy. If you're a true spirit, super fan, all these super spiritual people, you know. Your energy doesn't connect. I have a lot of family members that are Christians, but my energy doesn't connect with them. But they all say, super quote scriptures, turn over chairs, everything. So when I go around them, I try to limit my time and my exposure. Because you guys remember what we talked about in the previous show. There's a lot of people on this call. The reason why you're in Groundhog State is because your energy field, your field of influence, has been overpowered by your husband, by your children, by your job. Somebody is siphoning your chi. So your waves are struggling to function. So your field of influence, you're not influencing anybody. Somebody's influencing you. So if you are a true spiritual person, you've mastered the quantum game. You are literally a God in form. Your viewing alters events. That's quantum physics. That's a spiritual person. So what are you saying, Doc? I'm saying your viewing. What is your viewing? Your viewing is your attention. What is your attention? Your attention is not your peripheral. That's why I like that series, Peripheral. I got peripheral vision, but I don't give a fuck what's going on in my peripheral. I'm focused on driving. When I drive, I can see out of my peripheral. If somebody changed lanes, they're coming into me to keep them from getting in my car, I'm going to check my right mirror, and if I can scoot over, I'm going to scoot over. That's peripheral. But I'm driving, and my eyeballs are straight ahead. So based upon physics, the only thing that you control and collapse is what you focus on. So what does that mean? So if you're focusing on a problem, you're going to get more problems. So if you're focusing on solving a problem, you're going to get more problems. Because you're focusing on solving it. You haven't always solved it yet. So you should only focus on the solution, as I've been saying for 20 years. So a true spiritual person has mastered the art of focusing only on solution in the midst of extreme problems. There's a picture in the Bible, in some of the old Bibles, they used to have pictures in them of Daniel in the lion's den. They always show lions, usually 3 or 4 lions walking around, There's sun shining down, and Daniel is on his knees, and he's gazing, he's looking up in heaven. Bam! That picture should be on everybody's wall. So when you are in the lion's den, fuck the lions. Most Negroes are going, the lion's going to be growling, and you're going to be looking at it. Could you imagine being in the lion's den? The lion is coming to maul you, eat you. Instead, you turn your back to the lion. You get on your knees, and you just gaze up into heaven. Damn, that's powerful. That's a super saint. A super saint ain't worried about all of the distractions around them. Now, let me make sure you understand, because that's a double-edged sword. Because a super saint is somebody that's able to figure out how to solve or connect with people who can assist them with solving all the lines that's around them, or all the issues, or all the problems. But it's an inside, outside job. Bam. That's the difference. So viewing alters the event. Focus comes from being in a mental state of crystal clear clarity of your cells. Focus comes from being unified. So when I talk to people who are escaping reality with their spirituality, they quote scriptures. Because they say, hey man, what you doing there? Praise Jesus. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Nigga, I ask you how the fuck you doing today. I know scriptures too. You got to be very careful when you're around people who quote scriptures. What they're saying is they don't have solutions. That's a super saint. That's a dangerous individual because they are suffering from spiritual escapism. Now, most people like me who have trauma and drama that is not processed, OMG. How does somebody act that have not sat down and processed their own unresolved, usually unconscious, emotional trauma from their past? What does a person look like who has deep psychological issues that they haven't processed? These are psychological wounds that was inflicted on them, usually by the parents. What does somebody look like who has unfinished spiritual development? Now, they got the title, they got everything, but they have unfinished spiritual development. Now, in their defense, spiritual development is a choice. It's not an act. Damn. Let me say it again. The Bible makes 7 be ye statements. The one I like the most is be ye perfect. Because everybody says, how the fuck you gonna be perfect? Everybody says, well, shit, I'm not perfect. People tell me all the time, well, you know, I'm not there yet. I'm a Christian in training. I'm perfect. I'm holy. I'm kind. I'm a doer. I'm transformed. And I'm an imitator. Because the Bible says, be ye imitators of God. Be ye perfect as your Father in heaven. So be ye transformed. Be ye holy. Be ye kind. Be ye doers of the word. Be ye transformed. There's other being statements, but that's a spiritual person. Now, be, if you go to dictionary.com or any good dictionary, you should look that up at your convenience, of course. Because abundance is the same. Abundance is not something you do. Abundance is something that you be. OMG. Now, the word be means to exist or live. Anybody? Not living. Check your heartbeat. Make sure you sit here, though. Abundance means to occupy a place or a position. Abundance. So the only reason you got whatever you got going on is because you're not in the right fucking position. Like you personally, people you know. Now let me make sure you understand, because this is some deep business. Because you should be. There's 7 statements. So what I like is be ye imitators. See, I'm an imitator. So whatever God do, I'm copying God, bruh. Come on, stop playing. I'm copying God. I see God do it, I'm gonna do it. God said, let there be light. Bam! That was light. So shit, I wake up every morning. I said, let there be money. Bam! There be money. So I don't do none of this shit about it. I don't work for money. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. You know the biggest, oh, man, I don't know. Should I tell y'all? Shit. Should I tell y'all? Shit, I'm going to tell y'all. The biggest change recently in my life was the realization that I don't have to work for money. I literally thought, remember we just did the show on how your belief systems are fucking you? I mean, not you personally, but you know, beliefs are blocks. Well, source code showed me, yeah, the reason you ain't got no money because you believe you got to work for it. And what? Say that again, Big G. See, when me and God talk, that's how we talk. I don't know how y'all do it. Me and God, we go back. Like, I curse God out like every other day. Because I'm just me talking to me. So sometimes I get heated. Because I know my heart, my head, and my gut is in the right place. So I know the problem is not with God. I know the problem is with me. So when I'm cursing God out, I'm cursing me out, technically. I'm saying, God, what the fuck's going on? But I'm talking to me, myself, and I, all three of us, we get together. And so God said, well, nigga, you believe that you got to work for money, so therefore work. So I changed my belief system, Dr. Spam. I changed it. Now, Sister Addie, I got a new belief system, Sister Addie. I believe money flows to me easily and effortlessly from all directions, 24/7, 360, multiplied. So, Sister Addie, guess what? I be getting checks in the mail. Money just shows up, Sister Addie. Craziest thing to sliced bread. People just come by my account and say, Doc, I've been listening to your shit for 20 years, bro. They all said the same thing. I had a feeling. I said, ooh, I like that feeling. I had a feeling. I felt like I owed you something, Doc. I've been gleaming off your shit. You changed my life. You saved my marriage. By listening to people tell me, Doc, what's your YouTube shit? Do you guys know I get almost every day? I get somebody. Yesterday I got 3 people. I can't find your YouTube channel. I always go to it. That's my resource. It's gone. There was 5,000 videos over there. 20 years of research, man. Every time I have a question, I would go to your YouTube channel. That YouTube channel, what the fuck you do with it, man? They go, YouTube. They deleted it. Oh, shit. Well, let me give you some money. So money, now that I got rid of that belief, I was fucking myself all 60 years. I've been working hard, Sister Diane, like a fucking Hebrew slave. Not knowing that belief, because like everybody else, you don't work, you don't eat. I've got that same belief. Stop playing. Now, shit, money flows to me easily and effortlessly because abundance is my birthright. The fact that I can breathe, I should get paid. I ain't got to do shit. That's my new belief. So Addie, my whole life has changed now. Now I go, people just need to be giving me money because now I'm able to accept it. Before I was rejecting. So everybody has what they have because you're rejecting more because you got to believe. That says that God can only bless me this way. So I changed that up to that. And now, any way you bless me, Lord, I'll be satisfied. So now I ain't putting no shackles on God. I ain't putting no limits. So if an old lady want to come by and give me a meal, thank you. If a 13-year-old kid want to come by and drop a couple of grand, hallelujah. Check it with your mama first and your daddy. Did they think you come by? Okay, cool. Go ahead and make it. MasterTeacher30.com. Go ahead and hit that donation button. So now, Sister Addie, I don't have no limits that, well, if I write certain books and if I do certain shows and if I do pay-per-view shows, now, whether I do a pay-per-view show or not, Sister Addie, I'm getting paid because I changed my belief. That's how simple this shit is. Now, I've been had that belief when it comes to health. I eat anything I want, anytime I want. And my health goes, if I want to lose weight, I change my mind. I've been telling men about the whole thing, which, you know, the male genitalia thing. I've been doing that for years. Now, because, you know, you don't want to be sending dick pics to everybody, but when I do my private, I haven't done a private men's only in a while. But back in the day, especially when I was doing personal training, Shit, you can change your mass, muscle mass, your body structure, your pecker size, all with your fucking head. No pills, no weight loss. You remember, Harvard studies have already proven this. They took the dudes. Y'all heard about the milkshake experiment? That one's new. The old shit, this is placebo. They take dudes. Remember, I used to do this. It was a company called Farmco. And I used to be a lab rat. I used to get paid $5,000 a month to go into a lab, and I had to stay there for 21 days, and then I had to come back and do blood work. The whole time I was there, I had to do a blood draw pretty much every day. And remember, thankfully, after I finished doing all that, when I was, young, dumb, and stupid, and I was broke, most of the time, I took the placebo. This shit is crazy how it worked out. Because I made it in my mind that I didn't want to take no crazy drugs, but I needed the money. So I told myself, I don't know what the fuck they putting in my body. Because they didn't tell you. But you have to sign all these waivers. If you die, if you get cancer, if your PP fall off, you can't sue them. But I was young, dumb, and stupid because I got answer. I needed the money. So shit, I signed up. I did that shit for over a year, so for sure. But I went in with a disposition. And when I got completed everything and I checked out and I said I wasn't doing it no more, they sent me the results because by law they got to tell you what they gave you. So if you develop side effects down the road, you can't sue them, but at least you go to the doctor, well, I took, cyanide. Well, I went through all the studies, every study I took, I had sugar water. Come on, dodging a bullet, couple of bullets. Why though? Well, I said by disposition. That's spirituality. See, spirituality is you don't spew this shit on other people. The Bible says anybody that tries to make somebody a convert makes that person tenfold or twofold or whatever it is more a candidate of hell before their conversion. Why do people try to convert people? People go on missionary work. Why? That shit's demonic. They are Satanists. Read my book, Christian Satanist. Anybody read the Satanist? Anybody read the Codex Gigas? That's a Bible made out of fucking human skin. You should read it. Written by the devil himself. It'll fuck up your brain. You won't go to church no more, guaranteed. Read it. You know what? Tell your pastor to read it. Okay, moving on. So most Christians don't know they're Satanists. But I know. I'm not going to rat you out, dog. We're going to keep a secret. I don't tell nobody your secret, homie. So these closet Satanists, those are the people that are practicing what is called spiritual bypassing. That means that they are releasing negative energy. Knowingly or unknowingly, because they don't understand the spiritual significance of being. That's called the have principle. Because Jesus said to him that have more shall be given. To him that have not, the little that they do have, gone. That's pretty much 99.99999% of the people on the planet. They ain't got nothing. Why? Because they don't believe they got nothing. So if I ask you right now, and shout out to Sister Addie. So Addie did this video, and she just went off the dome. She said, you know what I have? And then Sister Addie just popped off the dome what she had. And to the average low vibrational nickel, they was like, well, that ain't nothing. But they didn't understand what Sister Addie was saying. Because Sister Addie was talking about peace of mind, happiness, her joy, her smile, her beauty lights up the screen. Because Sister Addie is in a space now where she over understands her worth and her value. I don't give a fuck what nobody else thinks. So when you understand that most people who are spiritual are toxic because they are distracted and they are ensnared with the dark side of their spiritual giftedness. See, spiritual bypassing means you bypassed God to establish your spiritual worth. Damn! Can't come back from that. So when you bypass God by worshiping God, this is crazy. So the whole time I thought I was worshiping God, I was actually bypassing God. See, spiritual escapism means that you are avoiding. It's called spiritual avoidance. You have a false feeling of security and happiness. You're not secure, you're not happy, but you're trying to conjure it up. And the way that you do that is with things. You put money in your bank account, you get a car in the house, and you surround yourself with stuff. But you are undermining self-growth and transformation. What does that mean? You go to church for 30 years and you're still the same. What does that mean? That means your personality hasn't gotten sweeter. What does that mean? Do anybody know people that they were and had a certain disposition when they was young? Now they are older, they still have that same disposition. That individual is unknowingly using their spirituality to escape reality. They are bypassing the process of doing the work on themselves, where they literally look at their own personality, the way that they think, process information, and they ask themselves the hard questions in life. Most people use spirituality to bypass and to avoid, again, unresolved emotional trauma. That's number one. Now, we don't have to go through what emotional trauma is. Each and every person on this call, you have had, whether you know it or not, you've been through emotional trauma. Because it's just energy that moves you into a place where you feel that you have been wronged. Notice, and this is important, man, the devil is good. Oppression is crazy. I've talked to people who listen to my show, hung up, disconnected. I didn't hear from them for 6 months. And I asked them, hey, yo, Doc, what happened to you, man? I ain't seen you, brother. Good to see you. Man, can I be honest with you, brother? I said, yeah, Doc, what you got? Well, you know that show that you did back in, I don't even remember the show. Well, you said something, man, kind of bothered me, brother. I got pissed off on me. I'm just keeping it real. The word oppression means cruel, harsh, unjust treatment that is perceived. It doesn't have to be real to you. Now, I don't know if you guys understand the word perceived. Now, the word perceived, I'm talking right now, I know I've said something that has made someone feel. That means it's taken in by one of your five senses. Usually it's heard or seen. So anything that's heard or seen, bam, it leads to felt. So spiritual escapism means you felt. That means you heard or seen. So what is heard or seen? Now that it can be touched, it can be tasted, it could be, the other five senses, really that's 12. So you can use any of your 12 senses. You could pick it like I do. I use my sixth sense. So I get signals that are sent to my brain that activates my spidey senses that say, hey, Jim Bob, he could, be cool with him, but don't trust him. So remember, since 13, ever since my mama died, I've been doing this. And I haven't been wrong once. And I like me and the wife, for 14 years, we've been having this test. 14 years, I haven't been wrong. So I meet somebody in her family, in the church we go, and he's like, really back in the day when we used to go. And I say, oh yeah, apostle, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he banging the choir up there. I said, nah, he's been married for 30 years. He's a man of the cloth. Nah, Apostle Black, he on the DL. He gay. Ain't no fucking way. Sure enough, 10 years later, come to find out Apostle Blake and Tate. Or he banging the choir director. Or whatever my spidey senses picked up. That's called discernment. Haven't been wrong once. That's perception. That's spiritual work. Spiritual work is you being you. Spiritual work is what Sister Addie's doing right now. Sister Addie's on Facebook doing videos, you know what she's saying? In her brain when she's talking, you know what she's saying to me? What I hear is, fuck everybody. That's all I hear. When I watched the video, I saw Sister Addie's video this morning, I just started laughing. Because what I saw was Sister Addie coming out of her shell. Because if you would have met Sister Addie when I met her, and you see that what she's doing, all I see is gross. So other people looking at Sister Addie, they say, well, she's the same. You know, she's not. They don't see any benefits of being a part of the life vitamin system. But what I see, 180-degree turnaround. Why? Sister Addie is just being herself. That's a spiritual giant. Everybody, not everybody, most people are spiritual midgets. They fucking fake. They're not comfortable in their own skin. Why not, Doc? They haven't done the work. Right, Sister Addie? So you got to go in. That's some unresolved emotional issues. Your mama didn't like you. Your dad didn't like you. Uncle Buck, you know, he cut your click-clack when you was little. Somebody slapped you upside the head. Somebody made you felt something. Even me. I may be talking right now. I said something and you felt. That's oppression. You got to process it. Otherwise, if you don't process it with your head, it's going to drop down to your heart. If you don't process it with your heart, it's going to get stored in your gut. When it gets in your gut, it's damn near impossible to get that shit out. Number one, you got to deal with all of the stuff, and you got to do what you got to do. You got to stop putting new shit in. What does that mean? Don't be offended. Oh, shit. Houston, we got a problem. So let me get right. You need to tell me, Doc, I'm not supposed to get offended. No, you get offended. You get, the Bible says, be angry. Say not. That means don't digest that shit. I get angry, pissed off all the time. They last for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes a day, maybe 2 days. After that, I'll process it, not throw it away. Number one, brothers and sisters, you have to watch what makes you felt, not feel. Felt is a past tense feeling. OMG. Let me say it again. Number one, you got to be very aware of the emotional shit that I'm triggering. So you go somewhere, somebody cuts you off in traffic, sure you're going to be like, whoa, man, if I'm telling you, I took out the vet today, I ain't drove the thing in almost a month. So I'm like, man, let me go drive around a bit. And sure enough, everybody like to pull up on side, they look at the car, oh, they're jumping out, this fool's jumping, he's just, especially young kids, they pull on side to you, they rev up their engine and then they speed up. So I guess, that's how the little kids race or whatever. Like, be for real. Like, man, I ain't doing that. So this little knucklehead, he comes around, but the light was red. Now, I saw the light. Like always, my spidey sense says, this fool is going to cut in front of you, and he's going to slam on his brakes. While he was on side of me, my brain said that. Sure enough, this little kid couldn't be no more than 18. He was driving like a Mustang. Why would he do that? So if I wasn't tuned in, this is what we talk about. We're talking about who's a fucking spiritual giant. What does spiritual giantism look like? Fucking discernment. You tuned in. On earth. You're not walking around so fucking spiritual that you plow in the back of another car because you spaced the fuck out. That is not spiritual. Spiritualism, boo-boo, you live in earth. I don't know if y'all noticed or not, this is fucking 3D. It's fake, sure, but it's so fake it looks real. So guess what? You got to act like it's real because it appears to be real. So you got to master how the game is played. Then you graduate. So I listen. That's a spiritual guru. A spiritual guru, like, I like to argue and I love to debate. OMG. I got a sister named Linda. My sister Linda is a spiritual guru. I like to talk to Linda, but Linda loves to argue and debate. My sister will argue over a fucking stop sign. That's why I like my sister. Because she's always had my back. One thing about my family, we may not agree upon everything, but if somebody from our family calls, the whole family, we drop our issues and we're going to rally around each other. That's a family. That's what it means. Fuck what you believe, what you think. You may not agree, but if I'm in need and you're in a position, you know, bam. So my family, and that's what we do. So, but the minor stuff, it can get interesting. So I already know when it comes to Linda, I add a little fuel to the fire. I don't care what the issue is, I just take the other side. We really pretty much agree upon a lot of the stuff. I just play the devil's advocate because I just like to get Linda riled up. So she get all amped up. That's what we doing, brother. She gets all hyped up, and I'm just, you know, to me, I'm just kind of like, because I'm totally not immersed in trying to prove to anybody, especially when it comes to scriptures, or when it comes to what I'm doing in my life or what you're doing in your life. Everybody's balling. All my family's doing good. Thankfully, for us, I mean, we were our family was considered the black family. You know, I was a black sheep, but when it comes to the family, nobody gave us a snowball chance in hell. My brother Glenn, great. My sister Brenda, outstanding. Like I said, my sister Brenda been on the job fucking 35 before she fucking runs the whole state. Been balled out of control since she was 18. Pretty much on her own. So my brother Gary, he been in law enforcement for 30. So he loves being a cop. I got in and got out quick. He's still doing it. Y'all already know I'm balling out of control. So all my family, that's my immediate family. I got extended family members. Yeah. But what's the point, Doc? Well, the point is we're all doing great. But we don't agree upon everything. Me and my brother Glenn, we don't agree upon everything. Remember, he's a pastor. So as a pastor, of course, you know, Jesus Christ is crucified. Y'all know what I think about that. So we just agree to disagree. There's some things that we don't agree upon. But we ain't trying to, you know, fight over it. It's just like we got different opinions about how we see the world. So we are able to still move forward even though we don't agree upon everything. That's a sign of spiritual maturity. So we're not trying to escape reality. We understand and process feelings from our past. Everybody on this call, anytime something that you felt, remember in these past tense, is not present. So you don't want to take any feelings and put them in that box. You want to empty the box. We're not adding more information to the box. You want to make sure that all of the emotional trauma, and sure, things are going to come up. You just want to process it. Number 2, deep psychological wounds. Now, when we talk about psychology versus spirituality, it's interesting. Emotions and psychology. When we talk about emotions, this is the stuff that really, really moves you. That's why it's energy in emotionalism. It's more triggering than psychologicalism. You know, that's not a word. So when we talk about psychological issues, man, that shit is buried so deep. When it comes up, you don't even know it came up. And you can connect it. So when you're emotional, you usually can find out what caused you to be emotional. You can track it. Psychological issues, you can't. Psychological issues, when you have to, everybody has psychological war. Some of us, we have in our DNA, we've inherited certain psychological, I'm going to do it, dispositions. You must process it by being aware of it. Let me go first. So everybody has psychological issues. Mine is control. So you can tell, it's real easy, because you look at the dark side of the giftedness, that is a myth. That means that that's in your DNA. That's not something that you picked up from your life experiences. That's stuff that you've inherited from your ancestors. The sins of the fathers passed down to the son. So you must be aware of it because it doesn't go away. So psychological issues are just like me, I'm anal retentive. What does that mean? That means I like shit done my way. What does that mean? That means that if I wash my clothes, fold them up, put them away, I expect you to wash your clothes, fold them up, and put them away. So if I do mine once a week and you do yours twice a week, we won't have a problem. Because I'm going to project the way I do it. Because in my brain, the way I do it, that's the best way. But it's not the best way. It's just the way I do it. So we got to be aware of that. You got to be aware of your own psychological issues. Because they're yours. That is a spiritual giant. A spiritual midget, that's what I used to do. They spew their psychological garbage onto other people. Don't try to change it. Monetize it. Find people that don't have your problem and you give it to them. I'm a clean freak. There's a lot of people that are not clean freaks. So I keep little Clorox wipes. I fucking be wiping down everything. Well, there's some people, they're not. Okay? That's my market. Because then I can balance that person out. So I can take my psychological issue, a problem, and monetize it. So one of your streams of income is to, what are you anal retentive about? It just traps your behind. It gets underneath your skin. That's money. Right now you're trying to hide it. Bring it on out in the open. Find the people who don't have it. They get it fine because they're going to see you doing it. And they're going to wonder how they doing that. So Sister Addie, to go back to that example, she's going to have a whole new market because there's a lot of people watching her. All she got to do is keep doing it. Same thing with Sister Cheryl. Dr. Fan, everybody else. You got firm, fair, consistent. Keep doing it. Because all of Sister Cheryl was, because Sister Cheryl was rolling before Sister Addie started doing it consistently. So people are waiting for Sister Cheryl to stop so they can say, see, I knew this was a fad. I knew. Now Sister Cheryl been rolling for, man, I would say at least a good year. You guys remember? Man, I was rolling for almost 5 years before I started making real money. Because the whole time people were just watching and watching. They still watching. There's some people been listening to me because they come in there contact me. Man, I've been listening to your stuff for 10 years. And they ain't never brought nothing. They just pop it up just to see if I'm still rolling. Hey, man, what happened to your YouTube channel? I ain't taking down YouTube deleted. Well, I've been listening for a long time. They ain't never bought nothing. They probably will never buy anything. Those are your haters. They just coming along waiting for you to stop. Because what if I said, yo, yeah, man, I took my YouTube channel down. I stopped, doing, shows. I went got me a job at Walmart. You know what they would say? Yeah, bro, I knew that shit, what you were doing wasn't going to last, man. I was going to tell you, dog, but you know what? I was just waiting for that to fizz out, bro. I mean, I knew you was about to come up. What did you call yourself again? Man, that shit played out, brother. People are watching you, waiting for you to fail. Don't give them the satisfaction. I ain't quitting. Shit, I'm just getting warmed up. So I over, and understand. So every day, so the show, shit, you wake up, I don't give a damn if one person watches your video. You're not doing it for the views. You're doing it because you're expressing your purpose. When you make your daily routine an extension of your sales, you're not interested in the sales because you're doing it for your CELLS, not for your SALES. The SALES will come, but make the adjustment in your belief system that I made, which is, I don't have to work to get money. It sounds weird. The first time I said it, it was like, what? So people just gonna give me money just because I exist? So I just went with it. And guess what? Sister Diane, it's paying off. Because guess what? Money is flowing to me easily and effortlessly from all directions. And I'm just taking it in, making deposits. Because I changed my belief system, my own belief. Sister Cheryl West, this is going to help you, Sister Cheryl. My own belief, Sister Cheryl, was blocking my money. Because Sister Sandra, this will help you too, Sister Sandra. Everybody in this call, stop blocking your money. By saying, Brother George, this will help you, Brother George. You ain't got to work. You can get up and eat Captain Crunch cereal and fucking watch cartoons every day, Brother George, and be a millionaire. Because abundance is your birthright. The fact that you exist, money should flow to you easily and effortlessly every day. That should be everybody's new mantra. Because I exist, money flows to me easily and effortlessly from all directions, 24/7, 365. Last but not least, once you deal with the unresolved or unprocessed emotional trauma, once you accept your deep psychological wounds, they're not going nowhere. That is an energy imprint that was passed down from you. So now you just monetize it. Now you deal with the last thing, which is number 3, your unfinished spiritual development, which is what? Removing all of the blocks that are beliefs. Another one, you have to exercise like a Hebrew slave to lose weight. Losing weight is a mental disposition. Just like making money. So the fact that you believe you have to exercise, there's a lot of beliefs about diet and nutrition that I still have to do it. Now, thankfully for me, so Diane, I enjoy moving heavy objects. I don't know why, but since I was a little kid, I didn't like that. So lifting weights, I love. I just got to remove the attachment that if I don't move heavy objects, muscle will deteriorate. I have a belief because I was raised and I read books, and I was back in the day when Arnold Schwarzenegger and all of the bodybuilding, Venice Beach, and all that stuff was huge. All them dudes lifted heavy weight and ate a bunch of meat. So I had that belief because that's what I saw, so I felt. So that's going to be my next issue that I'm going to deal with, process it, chew it up, say that, yeah, it's true. It serves me well. Now, I don't need that anymore. So I'm not saying it is wrong. I'm not saying it is right. I'm just saying that I've progressed to a spiritual state where I can process beliefs that no longer serve me the way I want to be served, and I can remove them. And I can say, thank you for your service. I can give them a gold watch and a plaque and send them off into retirement. So I'm retiring a lot of my demons. Say, I appreciate you. Thank you for your service. But as I'm getting older, I don't have to do heavy, pounding on my joints. So I don't have to run on a treadmill or run outside on the pavement as I'm getting older to elevate my heart rate. There's other ways of elevating my heart rate. So that is a belief. I'm giving you guys multiple examples of how I am processing and using what I'm saying today. So I am not using my spirituality and my religion to avoid dealing with unresolved emotional trauma, deep psychological issues, and the wounds as an issue. So from a psychological perspective, I was diagnosed with high highs and low lows. I don't feel bad. I don't hide. I'm not ashamed that I am crazy. I like my crazy. I'm not trying to get rid of my crazy anymore. We and my crazy, we best friends. So, yes, I am crazy. That's why I get paid. Because I'm so crazy, I literally believe every word that I've said today. I literally believe that I am an individual expression of God on earth. I'll take a bullet for that statement. I literally believe that money flows to me easily and effortlessly from all directions, 24/7, 365. I literally believe now that I ain't have to do shows. I don't have to sell books. I don't have to do shit because abundance is my birthright. The fact that I can breathe, I should get paid. Now that I believe and know that, guess what? It's happening. Money is flowing to me because I removed the money block that I've been carrying around for 60 years. It's gone now. Same. Next is a lot of the belief in the area of nutrition and exercise. I'm re-examining. I said, you know what? Damn. Do I got to go outside and run on that hard pavement? I could. And they got great benefits. But do I got other options? Because based upon the study, the guys that sit in the chair eating donuts, watching a video of somebody running, they got the same benefits. So why do I believe that it must be done physically when science has proven that it can be done mentally and you get the same physical benefits? So why do I not believe science? I got religion. So religion is not just in the area of spirituality. It's also in the area of physicality. So I got a lot of training beliefs because training has changed over the years. Now everybody knows that you can't lift extreme heavy weight every day because of your joints, your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders. So you have to do a lot of warm-up exercise and you got to do some lift smaller weight to strengthen your supporting muscles, not your core muscles. So I'm making adjustments and getting rid of old beliefs and replacing them with new beliefs. Brothers and sisters, that is how you embrace spirituality so that way you can control physicality instead of avoiding it. Spiritual avoidance, spiritual bypassing, and spiritual escapism must be replaced with your ability to process unresolved emotional trauma. And we said that emotional trauma means it is surface level shit that you feel and you move upon it. I say something to you, I text you something, I post something, bam, you gotta respond. That's emotionalism. You gotta deal with that. Number two, psychologicalism. You know, that's another word. What is that? Psychologicalism, that's it that your mama gave you, your daddy gave you. It's in your DNA. So, like me, I'm bipolar. Now, that's my spiritual superpower. Don't talk about bipolarism, man. I'll fight it, Negro, if you try to give me something to cure my bipolar. If they come out with something today to say, hey, dog, take this pill, you won't be bipolar no more, fuck you. I'm not taking it. Why? I love my bipolar. Why? Because now I know how to stay in a, what they call manic state, where I feel grandiose. What does that mean? I feel like fucking Superman. So I don't have the low lows anymore. I only have the high highs. So now I've made my demon my bitch. Now it works for me. So thank you. I've dealt with my psychological issues. Number three, unfinished spiritual development. That is your belief system, which we just talked about, and I'm going through that right now. I've already done it in the area of wealth, did it in the area of relationships. Now I'm working on wisdom and health. And I'm almost done with those two. When I finish those two, hey, I'll let you know. All right, y'all. I love you. Appreciate you. You already know that. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. I'm going to see you at the top. God bless.